everybody. Welcome to Ticket Stubs and Popcorn. I'm Peter.
And I'm Frank. How's it going? That was really enthusiastic. I'm ready to do this. Woo!
This man's excited. Today's featured performer is Jennifer Lawrence.
Jenny from... No, wrong Jenny.
No, wrong
Wrong
one.
Jenny. That's
All right.
All right. Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence.
She's very cool. You know what? Before we do that, I got a question for you.
I honestly don't know how I just...
Right?
Like, I got surprised. Like, what? I forgot about this.
I know,
one.
right? So, so is there a song in a movie that had, like, so... Whenever you hear it, it's boom. It is.
Has some
it is
okay.
that significance.
Oh.
So, and I'm not talking from like a musical per se.
No,
so
no,
I'm not
I
talking
gotcha.
about.
I
like,
actually have an
groups.
answer.
But
by the way.
all right, well, hang on to it because these questions just pop into my head, and then I really don't have any response to them.
Sure.
So
who knows what's popping up
yeah,
in that head there?
oh God, it is a mess. Believe me, it is. Not for the faint of heart, kids, let me tell you.
It's
So,
like a traffic circle. It just goes around.
yeah, oh,
It's,
and the theme song in there is doo, 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 doo.
you got it.
So, anyway, Jennifer Lawrence. I'm going to hijack this and I'm going to go first.
Sure, go ahead.
Because words are coming out of my mouth. So, Jennifer Lawrence.
Can't stop.
So, she is awesome. I love seeing her in movies. I love seeing her in interviews. She's just a trip to watch. She just seems like this really cool kid who digs her job, and she's actually pretty damn good at it.
Yeah.
So I think the first one I'm going to throw out there is Joy.
Okay.
Which was great. I was so surprised to see her playing kind of like a grown-up, which is weird because she is young.
I understand what you're saying.
Youthful, but to see her playing a mom who's trying to build a business and just trying to do this whole thing, and getting frustrated and just feeling down. You just want to tell her, look, everything's going to be fine. You'll get to graduation, and then life is going to change, because she just seems so young. But no, she actually pulls it off. You're right there with her in the struggle, and when things don't go right, you're just like, damn it, I just want this to work for you.
Sure.
Because you're so pleasant, you're so nice, and you're just like, damn it, all I need is a break. And I really expected half the time for her to just turn to the camera and go, can you believe this?
Yeah, I know it exactly.
Right?
They keep holding me.
They just keep beating me down and
held back by these idiots.
And you just want to help her out. And she's great in that. I think that she plays it very real for someone who is so young, and for her to portray a woman in that position, I think it's I think she does a really, really nice job with it. She really does. Great movie. So that's my first Jennifer Lawrence. The instinct, I think, is to go sort of Hunger Games and that whole franchise thing, but I'm not going to do that because she's done so much other really, really, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And Hunger Games is, I don't know, it's fine. Anything wrong with it is not her fault.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah,
It's so I don't understand why they just didn't kill her character like in the first 5 minutes. I could have cleared that right up.
Exactly.
Anyway, but that's just me taking a shot at the Hunger Games while trying to talk about Jennifer Lawrence. So my next Jennifer Lawrence movie would be American Hustle.
Okay.
Really so much fun in that. She's so much fun in that. And we've talked about Amy Adams in that movie.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Lawrence, it's great to see them finally in a scene together in that movie, because they're two different parts of the Christian Bale character's world. Yeah. That when they finally clash, it is spectacular. And she's, here we go. There's another mother just trying to make her way through. But in this case, she's more just kind of I don't want to say she's a nagging housewife, but
I
she's
don't know. Yeah.
she's just kind of trying to do the best that she can. She wants more than
Yes.
she's getting, and she's just very simple.
Yeah.
In that there's one,
And she's definitely different from the other three.
Yeah,
characters.
and she's
the
very
three main characters.
She's not only is she very very frustrated, she's also very frustrating.
Yes.
There's a
yeah.
scene where she and Christian Bale are kind of going over, like, you know, there's a problem and that she said a thing to the wrong guy.
Yeah.
And it really causes problems. And she just sort of cajoles him and she's like, look, we're going to come up with a plan and we're going to do this. And so they come up with a plan. She's going to keep her mouth shut. And she's been reading some book about taking action and doing something like that. And, you know, and he's just trying to not strangle her because she's so frustrating. She's just like, look, at the end of all this, I want you to remember that if I hadn't said the wrong thing to the wrong person, then it wouldn't have gotten you to a point where you need to come up with this plan. So
because she's a problem solver.
Because I really did this. So I need you to remember I fixed this. Just watching it, you're like, oh my God,
she's spinless.
Exactly. And it was so beautiful. It's just like, oh my God, that's so great. And then her little screed about the science oven when she's she gets a microwave oven, and this is like the mid to late 70s, and microwaves are pretty new. And she puts an aluminum like a tin aluminum thing covered with aluminum foil in the science oven. She's like, don't tell me what to put in the science oven. Causes a big huge fire and everything. She's just like, well, you know, I read an article that said that this is like,
I can explain this away.
This is the 70s version of someone like, well, I read on the internet that this, and she's that type of, she would totally be an anti-vaxxer. Completely.
Oh yeah,
I read it
because she read
a
it.
million and one things say this, but I found this one little piece of something that says that I'm right, so I'm right. So she's that type of frustrating housewife thing, and Jennifer Lawrence just plays it so beautifully. She really, really does.
Yeah,
it's so fantastic. Just a lot of fun to watch, and she brings to that movie a little bit of lightness, I think.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
She sort of, takes the tension down a little bit. But in stark contrast to that lightness that she brings to American Hustle, her role in Mother. Did you ever see Mother? With an exclamation point.
No. I haven't seen it, but I think that one's fairly recent.
Fairly recent, last few years.
Yeah.
So weird. Such a weird, it's a whole big allegory about how important Mother Earth is.
Yeah.
And so much crap happens in this movie. And it's like all symbolism. Anybody out there wants to understand what symbolism is, watch this movie, because it is all over the place. Nothing is what it is. It's everything represents something else. And there's a lot of places in this movie where she can't really articulate what she needs to articulate. So it's all just her body and her face. And it's really powerful. You might end up leaving this movie going, what the hell did I just watch?
Yeah.
But I would recommend looking into it a little bit. Watch it again, and you'll kind of get it. It's really great. It looks fantastic. She's great in it, and it's some stuff in there happens. You're like, oh my God, that was a baby. What are they doing? It's crazy. But yeah, all I remember from that movie, or one of the things that stands out most for me in that movie, is her just physical manifestation of all the terrifying stuff that's going on around her, and her inability to really kind of do anything about it, despite trying to prevent things. Her face in that just, it kills me all the time. There's just so much going on there. She's phenomenal in that movie. But yeah, don't watch that movie before you go to bed, because you will have dreams. Oh my God, mess you up. So anyway, those are my 3 Jennifer Lawrence picks, because she really is fantastic. There's so much. There's a lot of other stuff to choose from for her, but
yes,
and I doubt that we've all hit the same 3. So what are yours?
Oh, let's just take this moment to
well, tell me. I've already liked and subscribed. Tell them.
I have to.
Tell them. You guys do it.
So please like and subscribe, share with your friends, comment. We'd love to hear the comments.
It's on the thing. You see
got
it. The little subscribe thing. Just do it.
And check us out, Facebook and Instagram. We're there too.
Yeah, we are.
All right.
So,
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer, I keep wanting to say Jenny, because she's not a Jenny.
No. Even though she's young.
Yeah.
Or younger. Yeah, no, she's not a Jenny.
Give me Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay, if maybe you at home may have noticed, I was listening to your picks, and I started to like cringe a little bit.
I get a lot of that when I speak.
I do that often. Yeah, I just clench up whenever, it's just the way it is. But no, because the first 2 picks, I have the same first 2 picks. And all of a sudden, when you came to the third one, I'm like, is this going to be the first time that we've actually agreed on 3 movies?
Yeah, we haven't done all 3, but 2 we've
done. Then you didn't, and I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I did. Well, I mean, it would
although it would make the whole thing easy, because it would be just like, yep, I agree.
Yeah, what he said.
See you next time.
So, we'll just go with we'll do the 2 that overlap first, and I'll save the third one for last. American Hustle.
Yeah,
was definitely there, and like you say, if there is lightness to add in this movie, her character is gonna bring that. She's what can you? I mean, I'm just gonna. I don't want to reiterate too much, but her
you
character
can just say that everything
just
I
wants
said
to
was
be.
right.
Her character just wants to be loved, really.
Yeah, and taken care of.
And taken care of, and she's a little bit passive aggressive. She wants to try to get this.
Yeah.
And there's just some great scenes in there when she's cleaning the house, doing the live and let die thing. I mean, it's just a great little thing.
That poor kid.
Yeah, that's a great thing. The whole thing with the microwave, flames. You're like, so there's some lightness there, and she's involved, but she's involved in a different way than how the other 3 of the main characters are involved. It's a wonderful performance, because there are a lot of wonderful performances in that movie, and weird. Hers is maybe the most sympathetic, other than the Jeremy Renner one. But I meant out of the 4 main ones.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. She's just a little lonely, and just wants to be loved, and wants to be taken care of,
secure.
Yeah, and she'll have her own way of, like you said, spinning a story.
Yeah.
I guess that's whatever's going on there. That's what's coming. Whatever's going on, that's what's just coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like no filter.
None whatsoever.
It's just that's the way it is. So
right,
yes,
cool.
I love that performance in American Hustle. Joy is definitely on my list.
Love that movie.
Yeah, so do I. And she's just what can you say? She's hardworking. So she's a determined business person.
Yeah.
And that's it's what it is. And she just needs that break. The inventor of the self-ringing mop.
Yeah, exactly. And
classic story.
It's just like the right thing at the right time, and you just like you're rooting for her the whole way, and you just feel bad when things go badly. You're just like, damn it, so close.
Yeah, and it's like just roll up your sleeves and try harder. Well, she's already rolled up her
Yeah.
sleeves. She's been trying hard.
Yeah, you
the whole
can't get
thing.
those sleeves more rolled.
Yeah, and she's just determined, and she's gonna get it done, one way or the other. And it's also interesting in the movie. You see a little bit of the behind the scenes or the inner workings, if you want, of like QVC, those sort of things, and that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, because that's when that was all sort of in its heyday.
Yeah, and she's like, she's her biggest cheerleader. Sometimes she's her only cheerleader. Yeah, not that much help at home sometimes. So she needs to be the one who's out front and center. Like, if you let anybody else try to sell or explain or demonstrate the self-wringing mop, it's not going to fly as well.
Yeah.
And, so it's like, she's just got to do it. She's got to take care of her family. And the other thing that was refreshing about the movie, her performance is great, but the good thing about the movie is that there's not, even though Bradley Cooper's in the movie, and they have a work business sort of relationship thing going, it's never like a love interest in the movie. It's not like there's something to like distract us, because it's not needed in the movie, and I kind of found that refreshing.
Yeah, most definitely. Because you don't want to go say, "Oh, we gotta deal with this."
We just got sucked into this now. It's gonna, exactly.
Whoa.
Oh, how's this gonna work with the kid?
Exactly.
Or is something gonna be funny with the father and the blah blah blah? So I kind of liked it. It was devoid. It didn't feel it needed that relationship thrown in there, or that aspect of a relationship.
Right.
So I like that part of the movie too, or that aspect of that movie. So Joy is definitely on my list.
Think of what your third one was.
And the third one is very early in a career, Winter's Bone.
Oh yeah.
That's a tough one. That's a tough, gritty, dark.
Yeah.
What I
if you don't hate winter.
Yeah. What I loved about it was there's a lot to like love about her performance. What I like is that it took us this setting, which exists in the U.S. and it doesn't really, we don't talk too much about it. There's certain parts of the Ozarks, and other parts of the country too, but there's certain parts of the Ozarks where it's almost like, time exists in a different way almost, you know what I mean? And that doesn't mean that that they're backwards. It's just they're reliant on different things. It's like, she's young. I want to say she's like 17 because she's not old enough. At some point later on, I'll tell the story. But she's the only, even though she's 17, she's really the only adult in her house. Father is missing, and he's a meth, lab operator. He's been cooking meth, and there's reasons.
You actually say operator. That makes it sound like
I know.
Like that's what
sounds like. I went to school for this.
That's what
really?
the job listing says. Oh,
meth lab operator.
Metal press. I could be a meth lab operator.
Yeah.
So
it's a small business venture that apparently was open to him.
See Heisenberg.
So there's a reason that the father's missing from the scene, and the mother needs to be taken care of. So, and then there's two younger siblings, and it falls on her to take care of them.
So,
but you get this feeling that she's always taking care of them.
yeah.
And that you sometimes even wonder whoever raised her. You know what I mean? It's like this situation it's a grim one. But it is what it is.
It's great
and
how
she's real.
Carries.
Yeah.
You see Jennifer Lawrence carrying.
And she's a young actress in the movie, playing a young actress. But I'm playing a young character. But it's real. It's not a good situation, and then she gets involved with having to save the house because the father was arrested and got out on bail because of the meth charges, and he had to put up the house as collateral for the bail, and the father has gone missing. So now it's like a matter of days before she's going to be out of the house now. And she still needs to take care of, watch her mother, but take care of the two children. She's really devoted to her younger siblings. And then you find out that the father has been killed, like retribution. The thing, it's clannish because of where the setting is, and so you shut up. You don't snitch. We don't like squealers. This is what we're doing because it's all we got. But they know that what they're doing is like kind of like modern moonshining kind of a thing out in the Ozarks. But they know it's against the law.
Yeah.
And you just have to not get caught at doing it. If you do get caught, you don't talk. And so the father is dead, but now she has to prove that the father is dead, and that's why he skipped out on the bail, because you have to prove that he's dead, and that leads to another thing so she could save the house. But it's it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
There's a scene where the reason she's 17 in the movie comes out because she does anything she kind of can, because she's got to keep it together for the kids. She goes to sign up to enlist in the Army, or at least one of the branches of service. And so she goes and she wants to sign up. And, she's like, okay, it's $40,000, right? And when do you get paid? And then, the guy who's the recruiting officer is... He's very good. That's done in a gentle way. He starts asking her questions, and then you're 17, you can join, you can enlist, but you need a parent to be here. Well, no parent is coming.
Right.
There's no guardian is coming, and so he realizes and tells her you're not going to be able to have your younger siblings with you anyway at the beginning. You're going to be basic training. You can't even have them with you, and so, realize
she's doing
anything she can. It's not for, love of country or patriotism. It's just, I'll need the money. And it's just a great performance of a young actor. In her case, she's young at the time, but it's just so adult.
Yeah.
The situation she's in and how she's apparently been doing this her entire life.
Being the grown up in the room.
Being the grown up, yeah.
No,
and it's a wonderful, wonderful performance. And so that one's one of those that kind of sticks with you. So those are my three. Yeah.
Great. All right, cool. Hey, folks, like and subscribe if you would, please. Find us on Instagram and Facebook, and let's do a little recap.
Sure, I'll jump in because
Go ahead.
I'm thinking of
Go
yours,
ahead.
so I might as well say it because we overlapped
Yeah,
on
we
two, which
overlapped.
helps me try to remember now. We agreed on American Hustle,
Yeah.
Joy,
Yeah.
and then the divergent point was you picked Mother
Yes.
with an exclamation
And
point.
your divergent point was Cold Mountain.
Cold Mountain. She's not even in there.
Winter's bonus.
Winter's bonus. You got it.
Those movies for me are interchangeable. I don't
Wow.
know why. I don't know why. They just maybe it's the poster. So anyway, let's talk about music.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So I asked you a question about
you asked the question about, is there a song that
outside of it being
outside
a
of a
musical
music
or
thing
something
or something?
like
Yeah.
that.
There is a song, and when you ask the question, it's like
Boom, something.
I
like
had
that,
one
which is
right
how
away.
that should have
Yeah.
worked. Go ahead. What do you got?
I had right away, and I got to tell you, this song is instantly takes me to a scene in a movie, and to me it is just the scene is so evocative.
Okay.
The movie is from the early to middle, maybe more the middle 70s. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. Okay, that's the movie. The movie itself is good, but not great. A little uneven, but it's got some good performances in it.
What's the song?
There, Bob Dylan is in the movie. He has a small part throughout the movie, and they hired him to write the soundtrack for the movie. Okay, the song is "Knocking on Heaven's Door."
Okay.
But the scene, it is just—it's amazing. I've got chills because this scene to me is just—it's so emotional, and there is so much between these two people and their eyes and how they look at each other. It's amazing. So in the movie, like I said, I love this scene. It's tremendous. James Coburn is in the movie. He's Pat Garrett, and he has to bring to justice Billy the Kid, who's played by Chris Christopherson in this movie. So, Billy the Kid's on the lam. He's escaped again. He's gotten away from him, and he knows that there's an area within New Mexico where if he can get some help, he can maybe track down members of Billy the Kid's gang, and then maybe find out his next whereabouts.
Okay.
Yeah, that sort of thing. So he goes and he enlists help from the sheriff and the deputy, and they are older, and they're a married couple, and they're two old Western stars, and I love Westerns and I love old movies, and these are people who have been in movies for a while. So now it's like the middle 1970s that this movie's done, but these two people have a career that goes back to like the late 40s, all through the 50s and 60s. Slim Pickens is the sheriff, and Katie Jurado is his wife, who's like the deputy. Now, both of these actors at this point in their career are older.
Uh-huh.
They've put on weight. They're a little paunchy. They still uphold and represent the law. The actors themselves, they're gray, they're a little heavy, like I said, but they're still a married couple. And so they end up with the James Coburn character, and they have to do this ambush on the Confederates of Billy the Kid, his gang members. And And so they meet at this house, and then, you know, the gunfire, they start shooting at each other and blah, blah, blah. And James Coburn finishes the last shots with one of the guys who doesn't give him any clue to where Billy the Kid is. But through this gunfire, the Slim Pickens character gets shot. And he knows he's been mortally wounded. And so he turns and he starts to walk away from the thing, and he just gets further down and he drops to his knees, and he's in front of like a creek or a river. And I just love this scene.
The song playing.
The song starts up. The song starts up. You know, Ma, take this badge off. You know, take these guns away from me. The whole bit. So it's just starting. And the song was written for the movie, but then it got airplay and it became big. So each one is done with their own like individual gunfight and the whole thing. And the Katie Jurado character knows something is wrong, and she turns. Now, all the gunfighting is done. James Coburn's just finishing off his thing. They're like up on the roof or whatever. And she turns around and she sees Slim Pickens, and he's walking further away, and he drops to his knees. And they're just staring at each other. He's on his knees and he's like looking over at her. She's looking at him, and they're both there. They're older. You could just tell they are so devoted, and I hope I don't cry right now, but this scene is like unbelievable. There's just this love and years of love, and he knows it's happening. She knows it's happening, and the song is going in the background. And it's just like you see these actors, and they're not talking, they're not speaking, but their eyes.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, she's like, even like she's stopped moving, but she's like, her upper body's like, oh, just moving forward. It's unbelievable. And they're just saying goodbye and I love you at the same time to each other. Oh, that scene though, it's one of the most moving scenes I've ever seen. And I've watched a lot of movies, and it's like that scene gets me all the time.
All right, wow, that was.
You could probably if you don't want to see the whole movie, and you might not want to, but it's got to be on YouTube somewhere, just because of the music.
Yeah.
But the song just takes me to that. So you know you'll hear the song even now, but
if you hear that song now, it brings you right to that.
Oh, scene. Yeah. It takes me to those two actors. Oh, it's just,
wow.
It's tremendous. Wow. It really is. It's just a great
Think about
scene.
how potentially depressing your answers could be before I ask these questions.
And you know what? I took a long time telling that story, and I don't regret it because that scene means so much to me. It's just
I'm trying to think of my answer to that question now. There are so many so many songs that bring you right to. I mean, obviously, there's "Stuck in the Middle with You" from Reservoir Dogs brings you right to that moment in that movie.
That gruesome scene.
Yeah, I mean, Quentin Tarantino does such a great job with music. I almost don't want to reference those because it's just like, well, yeah, of course that song's gonna bring you right there because damn it, that's like the perfect song for that perfect moment. I think that whenever, and you don't hear it very often at all, it's kind of a very deep cut. It's called "Sometimes It Snows in April." It's a Prince song that was on. It was in the movie Under the Cherry Moon. And it's such a perfect song for the end of this movie when the main character has gone away. And and I know we do this all the time. We say, oh, if you haven't seen this movie, this is one of those movies that it did not do well at the box office. It is universally hand. If you're a Prince fan, you can't call yourself a Prince fan if you haven't seen this movie.
And Frank is a Prince fan.
I'm a huge Prince fan. So it's really fun and funny, and I highly recommend it. But especially at the end of this scene where there's it's played over the reading of a letter from Prince's character's named Christopher. He dies, and but a letter from his cousin to some friends, and it gives me goosebumps right now. The scene is beautiful. It's a great movie. So I would strongly recommend that. But that is definitely one of those. There's a lot of Prince music, and there's a lot of Prince movie music. Purple Rain, and then there's Graffiti Bridge and all that in the Batman soundtrack. But there's definitely this song. There's other songs from that soundtrack that don't necessarily bring me into the movie, but this song sucks me right back into the movie.
It's great when there's two directors in particular, Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino. They both have a great ear for writing dialogue, but they have a great ear for music.
Yeah.
And
Scorsese does it.
They incorporate these like soundtracks of your life sort of thing sometimes.
Right.
And it fits into whatever the situation is. Sometimes the time period, but sometimes just the situation.
Well, that's the thing. You'll get Quentin Tarantino is great at taking music that's not necessarily from the time period the movie takes place in.
Correct.
And using it, and it works.
Yep.
And Scorsese is great for taking the right song and using it in the time period.
And really getting
just
that context
perfectly, and just really get you into that environment, get you into that time. It's like a time machine that brings you right in there. So fantastic.
It's wonderful when music it's probably the most evocative of all of our art forms. But it's wonderful when it dovetails in a scene in a movie. Yeah. It just
makes it perfect.
Yeah.
So there we go. I got nothing else after that. Let's do the bucket.
Yes.
Some emotional
things.
Maybe we'll do someone funny. Ricky Schroeder. No, I'm kidding.
It's Rick Schroeder now to you, Mr.
Yeah, but it's not Rick Schroeder, but it still will be fun to do because I really can't sit through the Champ again. It's terrible.
Wallace Shawn. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. It's inconceivable. I wasn't supposed to say that one out loud.
What? Princess Bride and what? My Dinner with Andre.
He's got some good movies.
I know.
Anyway, it's
folks,
not Wallace Shawn. We were just being silly.
So we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.
Yes.
And find us on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching.
Take care.
Bye-bye.